Alright, so Tomb Raider. I beat the game this past weekend, and great game, excellent game. This is going to be an in-depth review, so expect a lot of info. I'm going to basically be covering everything, campaigns, graphics, gameplay. I actually wrote a lot of stuff down, and some of the cons as well, alright? So this game is not perfect, just let's start that right off the bat. Alright, let's get to the campaign, alright? To start off, what we have here is a great cinematic story. Alright, this is a reboot for the series, so if you haven't played the past Tomb Raider games, fear not. This game does not give any hint or any relation towards what happened in the past Tomb Raider games. Alright, so what we're getting here is a brand new story with the reboot of this character, this iconic heroine that we've had since the 1996. Alright? And what you're going to be getting is a 10 to 12 hour emotional campaign, alright, from start to finish. The game starts off, and it's really shocking how the game starts off, because, I mean, this is all footage that we've seen before when it starts off, but really, it just builds up this character. And what you have here is you have this innocent young girl taking this insane amount of punishment from just getting beaten up, getting just hurt by the environment around her, and I mean, it's a bit brutal at times. Like, you're sitting here and you're just like wondering yourself how this girl can take this much pain, this much suffering, this much damage, and it helps build this emotional response with her. You have, well, I'm not kidding, within the first 30 minutes of the game, I was fully invested in her as a character and felt that I was emotionally attached to her. And for a game to do that quickly, I mean, that is something rare. That is something that the company, Crystal Dynamics, should be commended for. I mean, just excellent character development all around. Like I said, the campaign's around 10 to 12 hours, and it feels perfect, alright? And you can even add another 3 hours to that if you really want to keep exploring, or even more, since this game does encourage a lot of exploration. But a great emotional campaign. You really feel like you're connected with her as a character, and just more so excellent character development because of that. You know, they really build her up to be this new person. You really feel like, oh, this is someone who I'm kind of familiar with, but in a different way. This is like, I'm familiar with this person, but this is a different side of her that I'm seeing. And it just works extremely well. So, 10 to 12 hour campaign, emotional response throughout the story, and then just excellent character development all around, alright? So, the story is definitely great. It's really enjoyable. It's going to keep you invested, and it really helps build her as a character. I think it just accomplished it really well on that level. Alright, so now we have graphics. Excellent graphics. This is one of the best looking games I've seen this whole generation of gaming. Alright, and I played this on the Xbox 360, and the graphics are incredible. Dead Space 3 had a really amazing visuals, and Tomb Raider just, I think, really just tops it and sets the mark for something else. Now, mind you, if you want to count Crysis in there, it's not the best looking game in terms of being a third-party developer, but the graphics are gorgeous. You have really excellent detailed character models that just feel, she feels real, and you can see all the dirt, all the scrapes on her, and her clothes get torn up and stuff like that. I mean, it looks outstanding. And then you have these really detailed environments, like the textures on the wall look really gritty, really filled with just detail to the rim, and everything just seems well polished. You have these throughout, at the beginning of the game, you're going to see fire and how the fire effects work, and this game has some of the most amazing particle effects I've ever seen, especially for a console game, you know? The particle, there's just particle effects going from the torch that you have that has fire in it, then there's this cool level where you're sneaking around enemies and you're trying to escape from being captured, and there's just debris and all these burning flares that are just, you know, flailing around in the air, and it's just the excellent use of particle effects, dynamic lighting with God rays and volumetrics, just excellent shader models, just really great immersive detail throughout the environments. You're really going to feel like you're invested in this world. It really feels believable. You know, when Lara goes in the water and her clothes get wet and, you know, she's dripping, and as well as through the beginning of the game, you can see that she's really invested in the environment that she's in. There's this one at the beginning of the game, you get to this one place, this camp, your first camp when you arrive there, and you can see her as she's shaking from it being so cold all the time. She's like, you know, she's really shaking. You can see this, and you really feel like she's in this world, that she's a believable character, that she's actually there, and it really helps build, it really helps give a hand to that emotional character development that the story just does so well, you know, because you feel sorry for her right from the get-go. So just excellent graphics all around. What you have here is a semi-open world. A lot of people say open world, but it's not in the traditional sense that you would expect from like Grand Theft Auto, or the more recently released Far Cry 3. It's not huge open, like you can go anywhere you want. What it is it's really huge open levels, like you would expect something from Crysis. All right, you have just these large, detailed, open environments that you can explore and you can revisit and go back to. There's a fast travel location in the game that you can go back and visit other previous locations. And doing this, you can collect salvage and stuff that you didn't get before, or get to specific areas and gain and collect items that you weren't able to get to before for the reason of having not the right equipment or something like that. So you have this really great, dense, detailed, open world like game, and it works perfectly. In fact, I'm going to say this right now, but Tomb Raider, the way in which they did the levels and the design and everything is a prime example of what Naughty Dog should do for the next Uncharted game. All right, Uncharted is no doubt an excellent game, but it was always that linear adventure, and in a way, it kind of helped the game because you had that really great story. But for the next generation, which Uncharted 4 will no doubt be released on. For the next generation, I want to see them take a cue from Tomb Raider and try to, you know, give us this dense, open, populated world that we can just explore and stuff like that. Because Tomb Raider just did an excellent job, and in a way, I think it really refines the action adventure genre as a whole. This is a prime example of what all games should look at when they're trying to build a game on this scale. So excellent open world design. What you have here are environmental effects as well that play a hand in the graphics. Like I said, Lara feels believable. She feels like she's actually in that world. You can see her shivering, interact with the world around her. Like, there's great interaction. In Uncharted 3, I don't mean to draw parallels between Tomb Raider and Uncharted because, I mean, even though they're both excellent games and they're within the same genre, there's things that Tomb Raider does that far exceed anything Uncharted ever did. And likewise with Uncharted. So what we have here are really cool environmental effects. What Lara does is you'll see her, she sometimes when you get close to a wall or something like that, when you're going through these tight spaces, you'll see her put her hand on the wall, and especially in the beginning, she's in this water, right, and she's trying to, and she's holding this torch, and she's trying to navigate through this water, and you can see her as she puts her hand up on the top wall right here, and as she's, you know, moving around and trying to get to the surface, all right? And this happens throughout gameplay, okay? This happens throughout the whole game, the whole playthrough that you're having. She'll go into like these tight spaces, and she'll, you know, and just, you know, live in gameplay, she'll touch the environment and interact with it in some way, and it's just, again, it helps play the hand that she's actually there, and it makes her more believable because of that. So excellent environmental effects and interaction. All right, we have these high winds that destroy the environment around you. They'll pick off planks of wood. They'll destroy bridges, or sometimes these have a hand in actually raiding tombs and stuff like that. So you have really good environmental effects. On the PC version, you have this brand new technology that they use called Tress Effects. And what this does is it literally renders every single strand of hair on her body. Alright? So we're talking about millions of just strings of hair just individually rendered that have their own physics and everything like that. And if you've seen how this works, there's YouTube videos and stuff how that you can see this. If you've seen how this works, it looks incredible. The only reason is that people have been complaining that there's this weird glitch where her hair will literally float above her shoulders, so that, you know, it kind of looks weird. To be honest, I think they did that on purpose. I think they were like, dude, this technology is so awesome, and they wanted people to notice the shadows and everything like that. They said, all right, just make it float. Just make it float, because there's no way anyone could have missed that or anything like that. I think it was done on purpose, and then everyone complained about it, and I think they're probably gonna fix it or something in the patch. So you do have this awesome Tress Effects technology, which is extremely well detailed, and it's really great. And I hope other games use it in the future and perfect it. Really awesome sound. All right, really great sound. Dead Space 3 had some of the best sound. You know, the Dead Space series as a whole has had some of the best sound in video games ever. I mean, just excellent uses of the surround sound, and just, I mean, everything feels like just so believable because you're in that environment. You hear screeches on the wall. It just feels very terrifying. It helps immerse you in the experience. Tomb Raider has incredible sound design that replicate that of Dead Space as a series. And really, if you have surround sound or surround sound headphones, you're going to be like fully immersed in this experience and fully invested in the time that you're playing this game, and just you're gonna be blown away. You're actually gonna feel like you are kind of there, you know, because you'll hear wind blowing, and you'll hear her screams, and the high pitch of her voice, and you know, everything, every little detail, just kicking a can over, something falling. It's all just amazing. It's just excellent use of the bass. You just really have this really great sound design, and an excellent soundtrack at that too. I got the soundtrack for free for getting the collector's edition. I've been listening to it for a couple weeks now, or it's only been a week. Actually, no, it's been 2 weeks since the game released. So yeah, I've been listening to it for about a couple weeks now, and a really great soundtrack, just awesome. They used this new instrument that they built from scratch. They literally took, like, I believe it was metal, a couple more strings or something like that, and they made this whole music and stuff, and it's just great. It's an interesting level of sound, because it's something that you really haven't heard before. But when you learn how they did it and what the instrument that they used to do it, I mean, it's just really cool, you know. So really great sound design and an excellent soundtrack to go at that. You have this theme song that they built from the ground up on this new theme song that, you know, you knew had to be catchy, and I'm happy to report that the theme song is extremely catchy. I mean, it's kind of like the theme song is almost in every soundtrack, and you know, they have that, you know, that same chorus of it, but it's an excellent theme song. It's catchy, you know, it's kind of like Uncharted's theme song, although not as adventure-y. It's a little bit more epic, let's just say. So excellent soundtrack, excellent theme song. All right. Moving on to gameplay. Smooth 30 frames per second. I had no problem whatsoever with the frame rate dipping in this game. It was a consistent, smooth 30 frames per second, even when the battle tensed up. And believe me, there's a lot of explosions in this game, and there's a lot of these high-profile moments where it's just dense in detail. So really smooth 30 frames per second with no noticeable drop in frame rate, and it works great, you know, especially for the gameplay when things heat up. It's just awesome and fun to see everything move in motion perfectly. So great job with the frame rate there. You also have a great camera. I'm happy to report that the camera of the game does not get in the way at all. It's very controllable. You can control how it is, and then it has those cinematic moments where it kind of controls it for you, and it adjusts perfectly to what you're doing. So you're never gonna have an issue with the camera's too close to her, I can't see, or I just can't get the camera to work because I'm trying to look over here and I'm on this ledge and the camera's like going through her body and through the wall. It doesn't happen. All right, it doesn't happen throughout this game. So just excellent camera at that. You also have a weight system to Laura. you may see some gameplay and you're like, oh wow, I see her jumping and everywhere and she's doing all this acrobatic stuff. It probably handles really lightweight, and I thought it was going to handle really lightweight as well, but no. You have what you have here is an Uncharted 3 style weight system. All right, I won't say it's as heavy as, let's say, Uncharted 3, but it's on sort of that same scale. She does have this weight system to her, and she does feel, like an actual person. Because of this, she feels much more fragile. All right, and it feels like every death that you do is very it makes it more so brutal because you kind of feel like you are controlling this real person. So really really cool Skype. Really cool weight system to the characters. She feels believable, and like I said, when she gets hurt, you actually kind of feel it too. So great job with that. Brutal takedowns, all right? Really brutal takedowns. And we're talking about, like, this game's rated M, all right? And just to let you guys know, this game makes full use of the rating, okay? The violence in this game, it's very satisfying, and it's very, like, extreme, too. And because of this, the environment feels much more dangerous, and you actually feel like you're on this island trying to explore. So just you have these really brutal takedowns that you can upgrade as well to get even more brutal ones. She can do stealth kills, and she can do, again, like really loud, noisy, gun-ho kills that are just really satisfying to pull off. And because of this, because of the brutalness of this game, and the violence factor, it all just feels like you're on this dangerous place, and it just fits perfectly for the story. You don't feel like you're on this place with a bunch of pansies going around shooting you, and they don't have a sense in the world of what they're aiming at. You really do feel like you're here surviving, all right, which really helps play an integral role in the game itself. So great use there. When Lara dies, it's pretty excessive, all right? This game has death scenes that are so brutal, it makes Dead Space 3 look like it's rated T. And that's a compliment, alright? There's, right at the beginning of the game, alright, you can get killed by this boulder, and I'm not kidding you, they show her face, they show literally her legs getting smashed, crushed, literally crushed by this boulder, and you feel this cracking noise. And then you see her face then get crushed again, and you can see her. She's all like this, it's so brutal that just sometimes you're like, ugh. And because of this, because of how brutal it is, you really are more careful with your surroundings. You don't feel you're not gonna have that need to be like, huh, well, I want to see what happens when I go over here, or I want to do this. You're not gonna have this sense of, oh, I can just do whatever I want if I die, whatever, because you don't want to see the way she dies. I mean, it's really awful. There's this other level where she literally gets impaled by this sharp stick, right? I don't know what it's called. It's like this big rod with a really sharp ending. I forgot what they call them. But she gets impaled, and literally the rod goes through her neck out the other side, all right? And she's all like, it's bad, all right? It's really bad. And like I said, this kind of plays a hand in the story because you really feel like you are on this dangerous environment trying to survive. And you're not going to have the sense of, well, if I die, whatever, because you don't want to see her die. So, great job with the brutalness of the game. I think it really does play a good hand, and it makes, again, the environment look like a more dangerous place, which is kind of the vibe that they are going with. You also have the choice to play as stealth or gun-ho in this game, which is really cool. In Tomb Raider, you never had stealth before. It was just like, oh, there's an enemy over there, I guess I'll shoot him. You never had stealth in any of the games. But you have really great stealth now. What you have here is a non-sticky cover system that she automatically takes cover from. When you just go behind like a low wall, she'll crouch and she'll take cover more or less. And the control is great. It actually works better than I would imagine a normal cover system to work for this game. And it's all really, you can control her really well, and I never encountered any glitch in the game. I really never, to be honest, I never encountered any single glitch in the game. To be honest, there wasn't like any glitch that I encountered that I was like, oh, huh. I never noticed anything wrong with the game. So the level of quality is like up to here, practically max. But the stealth works extremely well. You can take down basically a whole room of enemies if you really want to. You have a bow and arrow, which is used to take down people from afar silently, and that can be then upgraded to take them down in more brutal ways. And you can get up close and personal, take them down. You can even get more weapons to take people down with. So great stealth, and the combat works extremely well. Also, and I'll talk about the combat in a little bit, but I just want to get through the other stuff. There's an upgrade system. There's an upgrade system both for Lara as a character as well as for your weapons. You can upgrade your weapons. You can put better attachments on them. Maybe more ammo. You know, you want to put like maybe a dual mag. You know, or extended mag, dual mag, so you can reload faster. You can get more ammos in a clip. You can also get stuff like polished ejectors, which allow you to reduce the recoil and other things that will make the damage even higher on your gun. You can get scopes, grenade launchers, shotguns, incendiary ammo. There's a lot of upgrades for your weapon, and each upgrade makes the weapon all that better and unique. And by collecting these weapon parts, which you can find by raiding tombs as well as just exploring the environment, you can then further upgrade your weapon. So you'll have like a level 1. It's like your weapon is at level 1, and you have these upgrades that are available at level 1. But you can collect weapon parts, and you can upgrade your weapon to level 2, and then all the upgrades that you had for your level 1 weapon can now be transferred over to level 2. So now you can further add more upgrades upon it, and that it's really just it's an in-depth weapon customization, as well as her character. You have 3 different character stats. I believe there's just combat. There's like survivor combat in terms of, okay, how she can take care of her enemies. There's survival in terms of how she can loot stuff. And also how she moves and stuff like agility and whatnot. All of this you can upgrade, and you can actually, through my single playthrough, I didn't get to upgrade everything. However, going back and actually collecting stuff, you can now fully upgrade her to... if you really want, you can fully upgrade her to the max possible things, and if you want to do that all in one playthrough, you're probably going to look at about 20 plus hours in the campaign. Alright, so you've got a lot of content there to upload. That's a lot of searching you're going to have to do, and a lot of backtracking, but it can all be done in one single playthrough. Going back to the combat, this is a prime example of strategic difficulty. And I mentioned this in my Dead Space 3 review, how the difficulty in Dead Space 3 was all bullshit because they just overcrowded you with enemies and made them so much tougher to shoot. And it was just, it was not fun. It was all bullshit. This is strategic difficulty at its best. You have no aim assist, which is awesome. No option for even aim assist to be enabled. There's 0 aim assist. The last game that had 0 aim assist that I remember playing was Turok, alright? And it was a good game. There's no aim assist in this game, which makes firefights, basically, you kind of feel like, okay, this is a new character. You know, she doesn't have all the experience with weapons yet, and basically where you're aiming is where the bullet is going to go. So, no aim assist, and it just works perfectly. It's brutal. In addition, you have some really intelligent AI, which is such a breath of fresh air, especially for this generation. We've had nothing but idiotic AI members. I mean, let's talk about, you know, Crysis 3, which just released. Stupid AI. They would just run out of nowhere. They shoot random places. You can sneak up behind them or whatever. And then you have other games that came out in the past with just dumbass AI. You know, it seems to be like a normal. We can create spaceships that can go to different planets, but we can't program an AI that's smart, you know, and that can at least do something. So, really intelligent AI. And this adds to the strategic difficulty, let me mind you. This AI, you're going to be... when you open fire on them, like let's say there's 2 of them, they're standing right there and you shoot one, alright? There's this one, or there's the AI, if they see someone die, and you kill someone that's like right next to them, they'll quickly like go behind a table, flip the table up, then hide while they're getting shot at, alright? So there's that. There's also some enemies will charge you, and you might say, okay, well, look at this. Enemies are going to charge me to come straight forward at me when I have a bow and arrow with fire tips, right? That's not the case, because when normal enemies, I'm getting up again. When normal enemies, all right, are right here, okay, and they're charging at you, so they're running at you like this, all right. That's normal, all right. What this game does is because it has no aim assist, it does this. The AI will go like this, they'll go like this, and they'll start going from side to side, all right. And it's perfect because, again, there's no aim assist. So you're not being constantly aimed like this. It's not like, oh, you see an enemy, he moves slightly to the left. Oh, it moves it automatically for you. It screws you up. There's a lot of times where I had my bow and arrow, and an enemy was coming straight for me, and I was about to fire. Nope, he moves over. And this isn't, mind you, this isn't like, it doesn't cheat, all right? It's not like, oh, every single time every single time I fire a bow and arrow, he's going to move over to the side. It's not like that. It's dynamic, it feels real, it feels believable. When enemies get close to you, I mean, there's, if you don't have the melee upgrades, it can get quite challenging, alright? But they have dodging mechanics. They'll move slightly to the side, and it's perfect. In addition, Lara also has these dodging mechanics, alright? And you can actually, later on in the game when you get the upgrades, you can dodge and then do counter moves, alright? So, in my Tomb Raider vid, I show myself dodging. I pushed Y. She took out an arrow from her back, stabbed the guy in the neck. All right, you can get counter kills like that later throughout the games, and certain enemies with more armor, she'll still stab them in the leg with an arrow, and you can just take care of them from there on forward. So smart, really intelligent AI, which is just so nice, and to see this difficulty, like the game isn't particularly like so hard, like oh my god, this game is just so hard. It's like it's not like that, but it's the perfect amount of difficulty. And I was playing this on normal, and she can die pretty quickly if you let her to be. This isn't like, oh, I pop out of cover, I can take 1,000,000 bullets while I shoot people. No, you pop out of cover, you can get killed in about 3 or 4 seconds on the normal difficulty. So you have to be careful. And like I said, the AI is really intelligent as well. They won't stick their head out of cover like this, or stand out there in the middle of cover and just like, not do anything. They really do adapt to their environment. So great AI, really intelligent AI. I mean, I hope Crystal Dynamics should show the coding for the AI and give it to everyone else, because that's how good this AI is. It's amazing, really great AI. All right, so that's basically all the stuff I want to talk about in terms of campaign graphics and gameplay. There's also exploration that's encouraged because of that open world game type and feel. Now we're going to talk about the cons. These are very few, all right, but these are worth mentioning. What you have here are you have these tombs, right? It's called Tomb Raider, so obviously you have these tombs. However, they're short and simple. You have 7 tombs throughout the games that are layered throughout the majority of levels, and you just find a cave and you go through it and you complete like this quick thing. The tombs will literally take you no more than 5 minutes. It's one really short, simple puzzle to get to a ledge, and then you get up there and you collect your stuff. And it was kind of disappointing because in a game like Tomb Raider, and especially you have this great dangerous environment that's really dark and mysterious and you want to learn more about, and these tombs are just really short and simple. So for the next Tomb Raider, I would love to see them really elaborate on the tombs. Make it take 20, 30 minutes, alright? Make them really, really hard. Make you really have to think. Just the tombs in this game they're disappointing. They're short and simple. And there's only 7 of them, or 8, whatever it is. Next thing I want to talk about is some of the characters are underdeveloped. All right, you have these emotional story moments where a character is risking their life or something like that, and you can see Lara. She cares about her friends. You can see her; she's crying over this. She feels really bad, and she doesn't want to lose anyone. And you feel bad for her, not really for the character. Because you're so invested in her as a character, you feel bad because she feels bad. Not because her friend's dying, you just feel bad because she feels bad. So some of the characters just seem underdeveloped and not as well realized. I would like to see a better, more developed cast, something like from the Uncharted games. They did a great job at developing their cast. Albeit they had a series of games, but each character feels in the Uncharted series, even new ones like Charlie, for instance, in Uncharted 3, and more so just feel well developed because that the whole story is based on character development. So I want to see some more character development in the next Tomb Raider. That'd be great. Now, lastly, the twist is predictable. You have without I'm not going to spoil anything pretty much, but you don't right from the get-go of the game, you don't trust this person. You know you don't trust this person, and you know they're probably going to do something. So they do something. They do something. And the twist is predictable. But because, it's not like this ruins the whole story for you. You really do, or you really are enjoying your time, and the story is really good. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, I saw that coming. No biggie, And that's it. All right, so that's my Tomb Raider review. I'm going to give it a solid, I hate giving 0.25, and I don't know about giving it a 0.5, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, all right? I told you guys I was going to be a little bit more hard on my review scale. This is me being hard. So I'm giving Tomb Raider a 9 out of 10. And it's a great game. If you haven't played this game yet, go out, run the GameStop, run to Amazon. I don't care, all right? Go somewhere, wherever you buy your games, go purchase this game because it has an excellent campaign. You can be fully invested in what you're doing. Great graphics, great gameplay, great storytelling, and really few minimum flaws that really just don't affect the game that much. So go out and buy this game. It's excellent. I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching the review. 9 out of 10, and talk to you later. Bye.